So I don't know about you guys, but I feel like everybody and their mother these days is giving this advice on YouTube, which is just start. And seriously, take it from me, my just start phase back when I started my main channel in 2015 legit lasted 4 years. It was years of blood, sweat, and tears. And I wasn't even making money, you guys. I spent time away from my husband, my family, my little kids, trying to just start dabbling and switching niches and testing out different income streams. And it was almost like YouTube purgatory. And it wasn't until I started to take YouTube seriously and think with the end in mind and look at it from a strategic angle. If I had to make this kind of money per month that I was trying to make, how would it be possible? And so that's what we're going to detail in today's video. We're basically going to go through a 7-day challenge with you guys in this video of how to condense time and leap ahead 12 months on YouTube so that you're not wasting years and years like I did. When I look back on my time spent or wasted on YouTube, I paid such a massive ignorance tax, and I feel sometimes like an idiot. When I look back, I know that I metaphorically was flushing millions of dollars down the drain because I just didn't have the information that we're going to detail in today's video. And I know it's not just me, so I'm making this video for you guys in mind, specifically some comments that I saw last week on my channel, and I'm going to detail them. This isn't airing anyone's dirty laundry. It's all public information because I feel for you guys, and I know because I literally have made probably so many more mistakes than you have. So this is Char Mopar. They say 17 years on YouTube, and never thought of it as an income stream. It was originally a site designed to meet people. It's Jazzy J1. This was helpful. I've been on YouTube for 3 to 4 years now. That's how long it took me to go through this purgatory phase of not literally figuring it out. And she says, I did not understand why my channel was not growing. 1, go with viral videos first. 2, thumbnails, 3, patience. If only it was that easy. That's all I focused on for years. And I missed the giant puzzle piece that we're going to talk about in today's video for how to meet your goals. It's not just growing and focusing on thumbnails and virality. But we'll talk about that in a minute. And the last kicker, which really was like the spark that made me want to create this video, is Terrence Y. Been on YouTube for 13 years. I only have 500 hours of watch time. Okay, I detail these comments not to be like, you guys suck, because I suck worse, all right? But I make this video for you guys, the people that have no clue how to collapse time, because once I figured out how to think with the end in mind, my husband and I designed a framework that allowed us to go from 0 to 7 figures in under 18 months on YouTube. That was after years of dabbling and just starting. So I'm gonna detail in today's video basically a 7-day plan that allows you to leap ahead. I'm gonna give you guys as many resources, templates, guides in the freebie that you guys can download below. And I'm gonna just try my best to condense every failure and every red flag, wrong turn, don't do this, and tell you guys what you shouldn't do and what I did to hit my income goals and explode my main channel. And I'm also doing the same thing and reviving this channel. But before we get into this challenge, my name is Haley if you're new here, and I help new and experienced creators basically build values first businesses, creating assets that they own in the form of courses and coaching programs so that they don't have to rely on brand deals to get paid, algorithms that they don't own, and basically needing a massive audience to support their family. So if that interests you, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into day 1. So day 1 is all about the framework to freedom. So on day 1, we're going to talk about the number 1 reason why I spent years in this metaphorical YouTube purgatory trying to make it, and why a lot of you guys are probably stuck there as well. But really quickly, when I want to get things done, I tell myself and my students, I've coached over 1,500, maybe I think more YouTubers at this point over the last 6 years. I tell myself and my students to get animalistic. You have to be a complete savage. Nothing gets done when you think maybe one day it will happen for me. That would be nice if it would happen, right? You can't have that mentality. And so, for example, I want to give you guys a little story. So my family and I, we do these things. They're very weird. Okay. They're called, well, weird to the masses amounts of people out there. They're called read alouds. It's something that's very common to the weirdo homeschool cult. Just kidding. That's out there. It's a little bit Amish, which we love the Amish, right? And so we basically, after dinner, my family and I sit down in our living room, myself, my husband, my 4 kids, and I read to them while they do Play-Doh. They're really small, age 8 and under. And I'll read them books out loud. And it's been the number 1 most transformational thing I've actually done for my business. I know you're going to be like, what does this have to do reading children's books? Well, we don't read children's books, okay? The last one that we read was called, yes, Think and Grow Rich. A little bit of mindset indoctrination can't hurt a kid, right? And so the thing that I actually learned in this book applies to so many things in life, but the premise of the book is why you guys right now are stuck in this YouTube hell or purgatory. And that is not admitting desire. So in the book, he says something like, when a man really desires a thing so deeply that he's willing to stake his entire future on a single turn of the wheel in order to get it, he is sure to win. He also says, every person who wins in any undertaking must be willing to burn their ships and cut all sources of retreat. So most creators who just start end up in the same place they began, stuck in a loop of trying, failing, giving up, switching niches, saying, well, I'll wait until after the holidays to start, or maybe this isn't the right season of life. I've done all of these things, or I'm going to wait to sell my own product until I have the audience that is big enough for them to buy it. You're always in a stage of waiting, but it's a choice. So why is that? Because it's freaking scary to admit as a 30 plus something that we want a different life for ourselves. Because what if we fail? We don't have the luxury of failure. We feel like we don't, especially if we're not in our 20s anymore. We feel like that ship has sailed for me to dabble and try things. And so I'm not going to put the pressure on myself because I have a mortgage. I have bills to pay, a car payment, medical bills. I help a loved one because they're sick. I have kids to feed. And so you don't want to admit desire openly because what if you fail? But I've learned that growth does not happen by accident. It actually happens when you understand leverage. And leverage is not about working harder. It's about working on the right things, which is what you need to start doing. So on day one, you have to understand that YouTube is not just a platform. It is a mirror. The content that you create reflects the life that you live. And so if you're chaotic, your posting schedule is going to be chaotic. If you're non-committal, you're not going to commit to one niche. If you're scared of selling people, then you're never going to sell your own product. It is a mirror for all of the flaws, all the limiting beliefs, all of the reasons why you feel like you can't. And so because you feel like you aren't worthy of failure anymore in your life, therefore you will fail. So that's why on day one, we don't start with tactics. We're going to get to that in a minute. We start with admitting desire. So you're going to want to ask yourself these questions, and they're all in the free downloadable. What kind of life do you want to build? Specifically, how much do you need to earn to make this life possible? A lot of people just choose arbitrary numbers. They'll say, I want to earn, it'd be nice if I could earn $1,000 a month or a couple hundred. But I've learned that the difference between going for $1,000 a month and $100,000 a month really comes down to your strategy and what you believe to be possible. So you want to start visualizing this dream life of yours. Most people are honestly just working to hit a sub count or to get a payout by Google AdSense, but that is absolutely limited thinking, and that will not collapse time. So how much is enough for this dream lifestyle to take place? What dollar amount per month do you need to earn? And how many hours a week do you want to work to hit this income amount? And better yet, I started asking myself, what am I willing to give up to make this happen? Because a lot of people that are posting for year after year after year, they're not consistent, they're sporadic, they aren't obsessed with making it happen. And so therefore, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, because there's always an option out. So when I switched from my purgatory YouTube phase of getting like 200 views and not turning this into a business to creating this 7-figure home-based business that allows me to homeschool my kids and work for myself, this is what I had to give up, all right? Scrolling on the internet at night and instead working. I went through a phase of working at night with little kids. I still sometimes do here and there. And I didn't see it as like a sacrifice. I saw it as a blessing. Working during quiet time, I would work during my kids' naps. I spent over $150,000 in masterminds, in courses, in programs, in mentors to tell me exactly what I was supposed to do instead of what I was doing. And I spent that versus buying my first house. So I was very animalistic in that way. I also stopped watching The Housewives, which I do love a good housewife moment. I know it's a terrible guilty pleasure. And I swapped it for reading books at night. And so you have to be willing to change your lifestyle, and it's a difference of your mindset and your day-to-day habits. So day two, we're going to be talking about why the zone of genius, or niching down, picking a niche, is an absolute lie. So you've been told to find your niche or pick your zone of genius for years on YouTube. In fact, I don't think it's necessarily bad advice, but I feel like people get so bent out of shape with sticking to one thing and then not giving them wiggle room to try to figure out what's naturally best for them. And so they start and stop over and over and over, which is what I did for years. But the truth is, I find that genius doesn't come from confinement. It comes from exploration. I honestly think when analyzing the top most paid YouTubers, people that we've helped coach, and honestly also what I've been able to create in my business, is most of the top people out there, they're actually generalists. They're constantly pulling ideas from different disciplines influence to create something completely unique. So instead of asking, what niche should I choose? Instead, you want to ask, what are the patterns in my experiences? And also, number two, what problems am I uniquely positioned to solve? So your niche isn't necessarily a box that you fit into. It's the overlap of your curiosity and the market's needs. But also, more specifically, you really have to look at the market's needs, which we do in other videos on my channel. Because take it from me, if there is no money in what you're teaching on, you'll be on the starving artist path quick. Or you're gonna need a mass amount of views and maintain those views and rely on AdSense for years, which is very stressful and not a way, in my opinion, for most people to feel comfortable enough to quit their jobs. So for instance, we worked with a creator who did not want to niche down, okay? He was a personal trainer, but he also loved tech and productivity. And so we blended these interests into a unique angle, and he helps desk workers stay fit while optimizing their workflow. Random, right? He didn't choose a niche, he created one. So day number 3 is one of my favorites. It's something that I shout from the rooftops. I'm gonna put it engraved on my tombstone, tattooed on my forehead, and that is this: create an asset, not a product. This took me freaking years to figure out because it's not so simple. I just saw a comment the other day and they're like, okay, she just wants you to sell a course and she's teaching you how to do it. No and yes. Okay, so I sell group coaching programs, just to be very transparent. I promise this will come full circle in a minute. I coach people for a living. So I'm sort of like a consultant. I don't shill valueless, is that how you say it? Valueless courses. I coach people intimately on a very small setting. And so I coach people how to grow on YouTube. I coach them how to sell their own assets. But I want to say real quick, I started on selling products and it was a horrible trap because I needed to maintain a mass amount of eyeballs, a mass amount of views every single week to hit my income goals. And I felt very powerless to that because oftentimes we're not Mr. Beast. And also I don't want to have to spend days and days and days creating this baller video and working with a team on my thumbnail. I'm a mom of 4. I want to bang out my videos as simple and minimally as possible so that I can get the most bang for my time spent. And so yes, all of my stuff could have all the bells and whistles and I could spend so many hours filming extra B-roll for this video right now, but I'm not going to do it because I'd rather spend time reading a book to my kids. And so because of that, for a long time, I was just selling products. So first I sold products in the form of sponsorships. For 2 full years, I was a full-time YouTuber on my main channel. We were earning over $20,000 a month around there through AdSense, which really pays pennies. Never go after AdSense unless you want to be a psycho YouTuber that works 24/7. But also really 80% of that was through sponsors. So by selling products. So remember, day 3 is create an asset, not a product. So the goal isn't to sell a product in the form of a sponsorship. It's to sell an asset that grows in value over time. So assets are something that gets stronger and makes you more money over time versus weaker and requires you to maintain a mass amount of leads to sell more people after more people after more people. So for instance, one of our students, Laura, did this beautifully, okay? So she's our oily house on Instagram. She has a massive blog, massive YouTube channel. She's like a homemaker. She makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I love her channel. She's very clean eating, healthy whole foods, essential oil type of situation, right? So she sold one product with us. We helped her create this evergreen funnel that allows her to make semi-passive income through her YouTube videos. And this was her first product, okay? So she says, ready to learn how to live a healthier lifestyle and save money with essential oils? You know, watch my webinar and I will sell you my product. But it didn't end there, okay? She could have just sold that product and said, okay, I'm just gonna need more people to buy this one product. And that is very stressful. Now, Laura has a lot of different income streams, which really helps. But let's say she just focused on this one. That would mean she needs to spend a lot of time away from her family, most likely, or hiring more people, adding on more stress to get more views to sell her one product. But instead, she upsells a percentage of her audience into a tiered program that allows her to increase the lifetime value of each individual client or customer. And so then she sells how to increase your income and grow your oil business online. Now, this doesn't always happen. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, just teach them how to make money. No, it doesn't always ascend to that. But oftentimes it does, especially if that is how you can make money. And that is why it does work. And so there's a lot of different things you can do here. But when you sell an asset and not a product, you don't need to maintain this mass amount of eyeballs and these audiences that want more and more and more from you. That is how I built my first business when I was a traditional influencer YouTuber. And it was the most stressed I'd ever been in my life. Right now, I know when I get someone into my funnel and I convert a percentage of those people into my funnel, Also, a percentage of those people will upsell into different offerings that I have. And I have a laddered approach to business. And so I did a whole video on this ladder system. I will link it up here and down below. Seriously, watch it. But it's basically how you ascend people to buy from you more than one time. It sounds very complicated, and it kind of is on the back end, but it's something that if you build another rung of your ladder, and you can do this once a year, you will be on the fast track to making as much money as possible with a smaller audience. Many of the people that have these ladder systems that we coach within our business, they hit $50,000 a month. With one person we have, Benny Wills, you can look him up on YouTube, but I think he had, when I looked last, 13,000 YouTube subscribers. And so for anybody that I just called out and aired the dirty laundry like I talked about in the beginning of this video, you guys could be making money, but again, it starts with desire and it ends in strategy. Like, how am I going to work with the end in mind? But you have to know that you want this in the first place, right? And so that's why you create an asset, something that gets stronger, not weaker over time, through a ladder system that enables you to basically upsell people into your higher packages. But you have to put all that in place, right? So that's day 3. So day 4, we're going to scrap everything that you guys know about basically going viral. We're going to now talk about finding patterns online, specifically on YouTube, and not just topics. Okay, a lot of people are just taking a piece of paper and writing down everything that they feel like they want to talk about. And that's what I did for years. If I saw someone else going viral with it, I would just copy and paste. And because I was too scared to go with my own gut. And I also didn't know strategically to look for patterns online to allow me to go viral. And so right now, I want to introduce you guys to something called the lead faucet. So I teach this to all my students, and it's one of the most powerful skills that you can have as an online business owner. All of this can be done with a small audience to massively blow up your YouTube channel. And so it's this metaphor. So imagine you have a magical faucet somewhere in your house, and when you turn it on, a massive stream, a really fast flowing stream of water or leads come out of the faucet. But remember, you turned on the faucet. You have to manually turn the faucet to where you control the flow of the water, or rather the flow of the leads. I have this skill. I can teach it to you guys. I do in a lot of my videos. But a lot of you guys don't have the skill, and you have a sad trickle of leads or eyeballs or views, whatever. Really, it's leads because you got to sell the people something to make a lot of money, right? Ideally. Yeah, you can look at it as a view faucet, but views don't get you paid. AdSense pays pennies. And so that's why we changed the phrasing. It's a totally different strategy when you think of it as leads on YouTube. Most of you guys right now, like I did for the first 3 to 4 years, is I had a slow trickle of leads. But once you understand how to find patterns online, you will understand how to control your lead faucet. And so this consists in so many different ways, something that we teach our students, and I've done a video on. I need to do an updated video on this, so let me know down below if you want it, but it's called my golden nugget method for how to find videos online with a low, or topics online with a low supply on YouTube and a very high demand. And that does not mean you're copy pasting videos from large creators or even small creators. It means putting a unique novel spin to it, which is something that we're going to cover in a video this week, is how to be novel, how to be new and fresh, right? And not just like a copycat YouTuber from the next person. And so you can do this in so many different ways, but it starts with recognizing pattern. And so you're going to look at YouTube and to try to find things that other people are emulating, where small creators are going viral within 6 months or less. And so I'll give you guys examples on the screen. But one of the patterns that I see recently is that people are using sentences as titles. And so when the audience of YouTube, or just people in the world, see the sentence, they're like, oh, that's new, that's novel, that's fresh. I want to watch that. For whatever reason, they want to click on the sentence title versus the boring, overdone, evergreen, keyword stuffed title. Instead of how to cook a budget-friendly meal in 2025, you might say, I spent $1 a day cooking my meals for 30 days. Here's how it went, right? It's more of a sentence. And so that's one way of recognizing patterns. I can't go too deep on this. It really needs a whole video. But back to the lead faucet metaphor, okay? Once you understand your rate of virality by recognizing patterns, ideally, if you want to grow really fast, the golden nugget method, which is something that I teach, you will have so much peace of mind, and you'll almost be able to predict your rate of growth and income. So for instance, I've created enough videos on YouTube with over 20 million views spanning across multiple channels by now that I know my rate of virality. 1 out of every 3, if I'm lucky, okay, that's being like generous, maybe let's say 1 out of 4, but let's say 1 1 out of 3 videos, at least when I'm reviving this channel, goes viral. And so because I know my metric, I know the math, I no longer have to make emotional-based decisions in my business.
I gotta switch niches. I gotta try this instead. Maybe like the people don't.
I know that 1 out of 3 videos goes viral for me. I don't need to maintain a massive audience to hit my income goals. And I also know more specifically what my conversion rate is when I go viral in my funnel. I know how much money I'm able to make on any given month, depending on how many YouTube videos go out. So a lot of people are so blind. They don't know how to make money. They don't know you need a funnel that converts. They don't know that you need to sell your own asset in the form, ideally, of digital products. So this is a membership, a course, I do coaching. But the point is once you know how to control a lead faucet and you know your rate of virality, you also know exactly how to convert the asset that you sell and gets result for people. You can predict your own income. And it is the reason why I'm able to sleep at night and be a happy mother and not a stress case, which I was for years when I just sold other people's products that I didn't own. Because at the end of the day, when you wait for other people to bless you in your inbox saying, hey, I can sponsor you for $500, or, oh, look, your video went viral, says YouTube, and you get a boost in income, it's very unpredictable. I like to be a real business owner, predict my income, look at graphs and charts, and to see, like, if I wanted to make more money this month, these are the strategies that I can employ and feel confident in the decision to do this full time. But remember, it all starts with the initial desire. So day 5, you want to build something called a leverage loop. Remember, I detail all of this in the document because I can only make these videos for so long. I could spend hours creating these specific mini topics, but you get more information with the downloadable. So your audience isn't just watching you, they're giving you data. Every view, every comment, every click is a signal. And you're gonna use this signal to create what we call a leverage loop, right? Upselling people, getting people to pay you more than one time, creating the right products that is the perfect fit to get you the highest conversion rate in your funnel. So for instance, step 1, you're gonna create content, right? Number 2, analyze what works, double down on winners, build an offer around the demand. So here's one of our students, Meryl. You guys might have seen her if you're Christian like we are and you follow that niche. She's constantly blowing up on YouTube. We love it. And she basically noticed her videos relating to her Christian faith around finances to do really well. They outperform her other videos for whatever reason. And so instead of ignoring it, she leaned in and created a membership community around how to discover your own identity in Christ in all aspects of your personal life. And her income tripled plus. I know it seems like what I'm saying is just make more videos that are doing well, but it's more specific than that. If you want to hit your income goals faster, you will create assets around the topics that people are wanting more from you. You have to be very careful though, because I found that just because a video does well on my channel doesn't mean that I necessarily just want to be known for that video. For instance, on this channel, I had a video go viral when I was doing this channel years ago. Specifically, it was more to do with the algorithm, but really what I'm known for is to create these assets, right? To create these funnels that help you make evergreen sales. So we help people create these semi-passive income funnels, increasing their conversion rate and getting them sales 24/7 from people all around the world. And that's what I want to be known for. So yes, I could do more videos on tech or algorithms or click this button if you want to go viral in your analytics, whatever, right? But that's not what I want to be known for. So you have to be very careful not to just double down on something that isn't going to get you paid in the way that you want. But at the end of the day, for me and my husband and I's business, the way that we can impact the most amount of people and the deepest way is teaching them the funnel, teaching them how to sell their own products, because that's what's freed our lives the most. It's not getting more views. And so I'm not a tech channel. I'm not someone that shows you the latest camera, the best camera for YouTube. We talk about strategy. We talk about business. We talk about values and what kind of business are you building? And that's what I want to be known for. So just because you go viral doesn't mean that you should replicate that virality. So day 6 is you really want to turn chaos into systems. So many YouTubers, myself included, do everything yourself, and it's for obvious reasons. You don't have the money to pay someone. If you're stuck in the 200 viewed purgatory, if you don't know how to recognize patterns, if you don't know how to start selling your product from day 1, which I should have said that, even if you have 200 views, you should sell your product. And even if you don't buy into my stuff, sell your own products, like scrap it together because you're leaving so much money on the table. But my point is you're doing everything yourself because you can't afford it, or so you think. And so I think I said this in my last YouTube video, but if you are taking an AdSense check and spending it on personal stuff, slap yourself upside the head. I did this. I didn't slap myself, but I should have. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I just earned money. Let's go shopping. I was 20 something years old, right? And so dumb. All right. You need to take that check, whatever that is. I don't care if it's, I think there's a minimum threshold, but if it's $100, you better hire some cheap video editor. You need to be hiring people and thinking like a real full-fledged entrepreneur from day one. Remember, starting with the end in mind. And so you're going to do that by creating systems. So I found that success isn't doing more, making more videos, editing more videos myself, or creating more products. It's by doing less, but better. And for me, you guys should write this down. I do this by making one decision that eliminates 1,000 future decisions in this 3-part system. And I love this because I do this in all aspects of my life. As a homeschool mom, I'm like, okay, this is a frustrating time of day. Every time of day at 3 o'clock, side note, my kids all squabble. They get into all these fights. It's like crazy. They're all whiny. The toddlers are getting crazy. So how can I make one decision that eliminates the rest of our life having this like low part of the day? Well, I introduced something, I wasn't planning to talk about this, called tea time. And it engages all the little kids and they have an activity, and I used AI to help me plan all these activities, whatever, right? So that's making one decision that eliminates 1,000 other headaches, and you can do this in your business. And so the first step is to automate. So you're going to use tools to handle repetitive tasks, but this is email sequences, editing workflows. If you're posting your own reels, if you're doing Instagram as well, or sending your own emails, or editing your own videos, and you're making a dime on AdSense, this is the opposite of condensing time. Take it from me. You are creating a business on slow-mo, many of which you guys wish I talked on, but I can't because my Portuguese heritage. I get comments all the time, talk slower. I'll try. But you guys are building your business on slow-mo, and it shows because your growth is so stalled because you're doing everything yourself. So number 2, you need to delegate and outsource what does not require a unique touch. I should have done this from day one and taken it very seriously, because you need to value your time if you want other people to value your time. And if you want to value your own time by working less and earning more. So you wouldn't believe this, but I'm actually a digital minimalist. Someone said that in another comment. See, clearly I'm reading too many comments the other day, and they're like, haha, you're on social media all the time, but you're a digital minimalist. Eye roll. It's like, well, you can roll your eye, but it's true. All of last year I had a flip phone until I realized I needed GPS, and the other ones that you can buy suck. I had a flip phone. And so I've carried that mentality even with a smartphone this year, because I forced myself to create systems that allow me to free myself of my time. So for instance, I never post on Instagram myself. I never post a single reel myself. I never post stories myself. I don't send emails myself. Editing videos. I do my own thumbnails and my own titles with my husband because that matters so much to us. But everything else in our business, we don't touch. So I talk to my students once a week on a weekly call, and I check in with them about twice a week within our group. But everything else we have our employees do, which sounds fancy. But my first employee was just a student that we paid at the time, I think $15 an hour. Her rate obviously has gone much higher by now. Maybe it was, I think she started at $17 an hour. And so I told myself, I'm just not going to eat out as much this month and hire this person. It's always scary, but with that time, I could spend learning the skill of getting better at YouTube, making my scripts way better, spending more time on thumbnails and titles and recognizing patterns. And so it's important that you delegate as fast as humanly possible. So the third thing to systemize your business that allows you to focus more effort on the things that give you a greater return is to eliminate. So you're going to want to cut what isn't driving results in your business and be laser focused. Because remember, the 80-20 rule, 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. So all that time spent pinning things on Pinterest, changing your blog theme, getting a new logo, taking headshot photos, writing a blog post that goes with your YouTube videos, putting your YouTube videos into a podcast format, starting a podcast, please don't, if you don't have a thriving YouTube channel, for so many reasons. Those are noise because it feels better to start new things. You get a dopamine hit when you start new things. Take it from me, I'm the dopamine hit queen. My OG audience knows I love starting things. and I'm trying to commit to this thing. And so it's a struggle for a lot of us because we're creative people, right? We want to start new things to feel like we're making progress instead of doing the freaking hard work that I should have done, not projecting here. I'm just kidding, I am. In the first place, which is doubling down on the channel and the funnel that will make you the most amount of money with the least amount of time. So if you aren't reaching your income goals and you're spending more time or any time, I don't care if it's like 10 minutes a week, posting on other platforms, you have a metaphorical disease. Okay, that's what I think it is for myself. And it's called the sunk cost fallacy. I just talked about this to a student because she basically told me, and I won't air her dirty laundry like with her name, but she basically was like, Haley, I've been posting on TikTok, which weirdly enough, I think it's a sign from God. It's taken down as of January 19th, which is good, I think. But TikTok's banned from US. And so she said at the time before this happened, I've been posting on TikTok Shop. I have my Instagram account and my YouTube channel. And I feel like I've wasted so many years posting and growing. I'm making some money, but I really want to focus on building my husband's brand. What do I do? So the sunk cost fallacy is what she is dealing with. And it's what I struggled with, this it's huge. It's a metaphorical mind disease for myself for years. And it basically happens when someone keeps doing something just because they've already spent a lot of time, money, or effort on it, even if it's not the best choice for them anymore. So for instance, I have this main account. It's 180,000 subs on it. It's my motherhood account. It's where I got my start. It's where I made my first 7 figures. It's where I was able to allow my husband to quit his soul-sucking 8-to-5 job where he sat in LA traffic for an hour to go 2 miles years ago. It's where everything happened for me. And so for years, I felt like I should keep this on. I was stringing my audience along, posting erratically. And it's because I had this mind disease where I felt like if I let that go, I wouldn't have success anymore because that is what gave me the success. These people that talk to me, these very loud, big audience of people, where's your content? I miss you. Where are you? It's very noisy. And you don't see yourself from a bird's eye view and ask yourself, what is the life that I actually want? And you need to remember, burn all ships and go for that life. And so the life that I want at the end of the day is not to have to post my family online like I did for years. And I just truly didn't know any better, so don't shade me. I stopped that because I want to be able to work 3 hours a week and earn 7 figures, which this channel makes this able for me to do. And so believe me or not, that is my reality. And it's because I had to burn the other ships. I had to let go of this sunk cost fallacy that was keeping me chained to my old identity. And I had to morph into this new butterfly. Just kidding. It's so cheesy, but it's true. Okay. And so you have to cut what is not aiding you to your future vision. And remember, it all starts with desire. So you want to write down every task that you have for your channel, categorize it, automate, delegate, or eliminate. What's left is your zone of genius and what you should be working on every single week. So the last and final day of leaping ahead 12 months on YouTube is collapsing time. So you have to ask yourself this question. If you are forced, gun to head, I hope this video doesn't get taken down for me saying that, but gun to head, I'll say it twice, to meet your income goals and free yourself from the pain that you're currently no longer tolerating in your life because you're not a dabbler. You're not doing this for fun as a side hobby, side hustle, right? This is your main thing because you need to get animalistic about it. You need to start with desire. If you were forced to do this, how would it be possible? Who would you need to become? What habits would you need to develop? What mindset would enable you to hit your goals? What limiting beliefs would you need to give up? And what sacrifices would you need to make? But the number one way that my husband and I have been able to condense time strategically is by creating our first evergreen sales funnel, which a lot of people really are so misinformed, and they'll, send me comments like, oh, she just wants you to shill a course, or she just wants you to, or she just shills courses. Like, freaking no. I work so intimately with my students. I know their dog's name. I know their kid's name. I know too much about their lives. They'll tell you that. And so I don't want my students and I don't myself just sell some crap course that doesn't give people a transformation and get the thing that they desire. I sell the full transformation that I give to people. And so with that being said, though, I'm not saying just to sell a course or a membership or an ebook, never an ebook in your life. You should give those away for free. And honestly, give away free courses as well. We do that too. But what I'm saying is that you need to create an evergreen sales funnel that converts people in your audience through mastering the lead faucet while you sleep. And so this was the big catalyst that was able to turn us from 0 to, 7 figures in under 2 years, is that we learned how to do this. We paid into masterminds, to mentorships. Like I said, we spent more money on that than we would on our first single family home to learn this skill, because it starts with you understanding the lead faucet. What is your rate of virality? How do you go viral? How do you recognize patterns, which we'll cover in other videos? And also how to convert those leads 24/7. That is when you have a stabilized business. And so that is obviously what we teach. I know, newsflash, I do have something to sell you, and I hope you guys sell your audience too, because that is how you're going to change your life the most. I'm a mom of 4 who wants to be present. And so that is why having a funnel that starts with an opt-in and that leads through a series of emails, upsells, downsells, a tiered program that you offer people is the best way to make the most amount of money the fastest. And so that is pretty much it for our 7-day challenge. If you guys want me to dive specifically into any one of these days, how do you go viral exactly step by step with our golden nugget method? How do you create a funnel? What does the inner workings of a highly converting funnel look like? I will do that for you guys in separate videos, but subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.